What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 4 different cryptos in this video today. In order, we're going to talk about Zora, Cookie DAO, KTA, and we're going to finish up the video talking about Zano, which I think is one of the more promising projects that we'll talk about. They're all very promising. Zora, Cookie, KTA, they're all unique. What's great is you're literally hitting Zora is the creation economy, right? The decentralized social media coin. Cookie DAO is your AI coin, KTA is your DeFi coin, and then Zano is your privacy coin, which DeFi more or less similar thoughts, just different avenues of approach. But anyways, let's get into it. We'll do a brief rapid fire analysis on all of these projects. Hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. It is the 15th day of November. Here we are. We got about 5 hours and 43 minutes in this day, and Zora did exactly what I thought it would do. I shouldn't say this. Let's be clear. I did not exactly think that it would go right to this level from up here. We were telling people not to buy up here. We were assuming that we'd go below 8 cents. We didn't know how low we'd go, but we did assume initially that we'd find support here in the golden ratio. But after the past few days, looking at the price like this, we have been waiting for the price to go exactly to this level at the 786. So I don't want to pretend like we've called this drop perfectly. We haven't, but this was the area right where we tipped today was the exact area that we've most recently been focusing on as far as what support might be found. And that is right here at your prior support, right here at this prior support, and a closing bit of resistance, and of course your 786 overall. So it just makes a lot of sense that we'd hold this as support. I'm very confident that we do. We look at the daily time frame, you have double bullish divergence on your RSI, bullish divergence on your MACD, a little bit of bullish divergence on your stochastics. The 4-hour time frame, there's bullish divergence there as well. You can see it, right? Lower lows here, higher lows there. Your MACD even has some bullish, maybe not bullish divergence, but whatever. Stochastics are shaping up. I don't know when Zora is going to pump, but I imagine soon it will. Within the next couple of days it will, if not today. Maybe by the time you watch it, it's pumping. And we should see a rapid recovery. Rapid is the appropriate word here. From a high to a low, I would expect that we move all the way back up to about 9 cents to 10 cents. You're at about 5.3 cents. So, I mean, this could happen within the next 7 to 10 days. Like that's kind of my time frame outlook on this. Overall, we're expecting good things out of Zora from a high to a low. Looking forward to targets that are anywhere from about 21 cents to 32 cents going into, if not the end of this month of November, sometime in December. And I really wouldn't be surprised if we were higher than 32 cents by the end of the year. I do believe that this next move overall will take us to something around 75 cents to $1.17, and that should be somewhere in January, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so that's Zora. Let's talk about KTA. Next is Cookie after KTA, and then we will finish up the video with Zano. KTA has been a little bit disappointing. We haven't had the start after listing on Coinbase. We haven't had the start that I thought we would get, but that's okay. We pulled back a little bit from a high to a low, 55%. That's a pretty common pullback in crypto. Shake out the weak hands, make people panic sell, all that stuff, and then boom, then we really rip. I do imagine KTA is going to see some spectacular growth here in a very short amount of time. The stochastics are oversold. The RSI is at the 40, a nice area to bounce. I don't like how this week is looking so far, but if we could come up over the next, like 24 hours. If we can come up by the end of this week, I think that would look good, closing with a bit more of a wick. There is a scenario where we could go lower, but I'm not expecting that personally. I don't know, low to high. We're right at the 2618. We've got higher lows. I think we're going to hold support here. If we look at the 4-hour time frame, you look at your MACD, you're about to cross green. You have bullish divergence on your stochastics and on your RSI. You have bullish divergence. You're getting a little bit of what looks to be a breakout here, and I would imagine, from a high to a low, we're probably going to see this thing go up to 37 to 38 cents pretty soon. You're at 32.7 cents. So you're going to be moving up. I mean, really, you might be in the midst of this kind of like oddly shaped W pattern, in which case we might promptly move up to 60 cents or beyond over the coming days. I really wouldn't be surprised. Again, we were at this level here before, and we saw some spectacular movement at a very fast pace. Even from here, we saw spectacular movement at a fast pace both times, right? So we might just teleport up to about 38 cents pretty soon here. 38 to 50 cents. That'd be my guess, okay? And of course, I expect more than that. I think KTA is wildly undervalued. This is one of the projects that I wish I had more of, right? From a high to a low, the expectation here is that by the end of this year, KTA will be worth anywhere from $2.80 to $5.27. And I would think this 527 level is very achievable by the end of the year, but maybe we're more likely there in January, potentially even higher than that. By the end of this cycle, KTA, I think will be worth anything from I mean, literally anything from $33 to $100. I genuinely believe KTA could see a $100 price, which is a 300x from here. It's crazy, but I genuinely believe it. $33 to $100 is my end of cycle price prediction for KTA. Okay, by the end of January, we're probably going to be somewhere around $5, if not higher. I mean, we could. Who knows, man? Maybe we're all the way up to $10. If I'm wrong, I think as far as like my end of December, end of January predictions go, if I'm wrong, it's only because we pumped higher, not because we went lower. I highly doubt that we're less than $3.63 by January. Okay, maybe if we're below this level by the end of January, it's because we already went above and then came back down. But I would at least expect 363 by the end of January, which is an 11x from here. End of January is 2.5 months away. 11x in 2.5 months. Sign me up, baby. I'm down. KTA. We've talked about Zora. Let's talk about Cookie DAO next. Cookie DAO. Why do we not have an all-time historical read here? Do I have to type in like Cookie 2? Is that what it is? Yeah, Cookie 2. Cookie 2. It's the same as the Bybit chart. Why not? We'll just use the Bybit chart. It's literally the exact same. 6.2 cents now, dropping ever more. You just keep on dropping through the floor, don't you, Cookie? Looking at the daily time frame here, we have a bit of a double bottom in the RSI, bouncing around at the oversold zone. We do have bullish divergence building on the MACD. It's actually very beautiful bullish divergence on the MACD on the daily time frame. The stochastics have a little bullish divergence too. I can't imagine we go too much lower. We look at the 4-hour time frame. There's some bullish divergence down here as well. Stochastics, RSI. The MACD looks like it's ready to flip green again. And, you know, we have a lack in volume here, but that's because it's the weekend. If we move lower at all, let's see, how low could we go? From a low here to a high there. The lowest I'd give us is, you know, anything from 5.8 to 5.2 cents. We're at 6.2 cents now if we go lower. But when we move higher, not if, but when we move higher, the expectation here would be that we return to prices. Look, we're right in our golden ratio zone. Return to prices that are at 13 cents like that, 20 cents like that, somewhere in this range. We're going to get there. By the end of November, we should be at 13 to 20 cents. If we're not here at 13 to 20 cents, it's because we're at 34 cents or higher. For a while, for most of this month, we've considered that we'd be at 34 cents or higher by the end of the month, and maybe we do. It depends, you know, the kind of reaction we could have from here. Cookie, you know, from this same exact price level, 2 weeks later was worth about 13 cents in its most powerful move. So are we going to see something bigger than that by the end of November? I don't know. But we could. I would think 20 to 13 cents by the end of November. Going into the end of the year, we're looking forward to prices that are closer to our all-time highs, somewhere, you know, around 34 cents to 84 cents. And then going into January, going into 2026, we should be seeing new all-time highs. And I do expect that by the end of the cycle for Cookie DAO, we'll be anywhere from roughly, if I had to guess, by the end of the cycle, I would think at a bare minimum, I think we'd see $7.56 to $10. I shouldn't say bare minimum. That's 100x from here. Let's throw the golden ratio on there, right? That's fair. $3.90 at a bare minimum by the end of the cycle. $46 is probably off the table. We had considered that for a long time, but I just can't really see a 750x. It can happen. It can happen. I don't really see it happening for Cookie right now. I would think something more between $20 to $4 is the price prediction that we should have. Really, that $7 to $10 area looks appetizing, but the 2272, a lot of crypto shows significance at their 2272 for cycle highs. Mark my words, man. 300x potential with this one, absolutely. This is one of the projects that whenever people ask me what to invest in, I oftentimes throw them toward Cookie DAO, and these are like people in the real world, right? Like people I know, people I see on a regular basis. Anyways, I like Cookie DAO a lot. Let's finish this video up with Zano. None of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing with you my opinions. Zano, you guys. I actually have a theory here. Where was it? Where are you? Where are you, buddy boy? Let's see. I might have to pull up my profile. Let's pull up my profile, and we'll go to replies. It's my most recent reply. Yeah. Andrew Tate says it. And I don't care if you like Andrew Tate or not. It's not about that, right? Let me play this here real quick. I'll mute myself. Okay, hold on. One second, you guys. Hold on 1 second. I didn't have that set up the right way. I'm gonna mute myself and then I'll play this, okay?
So every time I mention zero knowledge proof privacy solutions, a few people reply with tokens, but they're replying with the wrong one. There are two specific solutions which I guarantee are going to save most people most common, good, hardworking, decent people who made money and don't want to get raped by the government from going to jail. And now I'm tasking you to do a little bit of research. Zero knowledge proof. This is what you're looking for. Zero knowledge proof privacy solutions, and send me your top 5 answers. And let's see if anybody can get the correct 2. Let me give you a hint.
He's gonna give a hint, and I swear he's talking about Zano. Because just hear this out, okay? All right, just hear this out. This is why Zano's so cool.
The problem with particular privacy tokens is that they change price. So let's say I have to pay somebody payroll, right? I have to pay someone every single month, and I don't want the government knowing who I'm paying and how much I'm paying them. If the token fluctuates a lot or the token changes a lot, the amount of that token I have to send them changes. So you want a solution that allows you to send stable coins. Maybe I've said too much.
See, right there, he said it. Maybe I've said too much, because that's Zano. That's Zano. What he's talking about is sending... The problem with privacy coins is if you want to pay somebody in private, it's fluctuating. So how are they knowing that they're going to get whatever they get paid? Maybe it's down 10% by the time they decide to cash it out, or more, or maybe it's up more. You know, and that's great too. But how do you pay somebody in like US dollars? Well, with Zano, you can literally send USDT or USDC or whatever through their ecosystem, and it's completely hidden with Zano, right? There's no other project that's really like this right now, at least not to this effective of a scale. And Zano, it's not really widely known about. It's not talked about. Zano, let's just see here, is at a market cap of 242 million. A coin like this, mark my words, deserves a multi-$100 billion market cap. Now, I don't know if we're going to see that this cycle, but in time. With Zano, you can literally send, as he was just saying, and I don't care whether you like Andrew Tate or not, the reality is, guys, he is a successful crypto investor. He is. Him and his brother both. I think that's how they made most of their money, right? I genuinely think that's probably where most of their, if not most of their money, a solid chunk of it came from crypto. Absolutely. And whether you like him or not is not the purpose, right? I don't agree with everything that Andrew Tate says. I don't agree with everything they say, right? I hear the tone and the talk and the negative aspects of what he says, right? It's definitely misogynistic, and he says all kinds of things, but I think that's kind of his point. He's like a character. He says outlandish things to get people to listen, and he's not a dumb person. He's a smart person. He really is. Whether you like him or you don't like him, it's like Adolf Hitler. You know, I'm not trying to compare him to Adolf Hitler. I'm just saying whether you like him or not, and I think we can all agree that's not a good person. He was a smart person, right? Whether you like somebody or not does not mean that they're smart or dumb, right? He is a smart person, and he is a very successful person, one of the most successful people in the world, genuinely, as far as wealth goes. And he's talking about something that is a privacy coin for whatever reason that you'd want a privacy coin. The thing that he talks about, and the hint that he says, he's like, maybe I've said too much right there. He's literally talking about Zano. And that's my reply. I was like, 100% he's talking about Zano. There's no doubt in my mind that he's talking about Zano, right? And look at the pattern. Look at this pattern here, right? We're about to break out. We're about to see something that I think is going to be more or less just like this over the coming weeks, over the coming months. We're likely going to see something that's pushing us upwards towards like $100 or more. And this is by May of 2026. I think we'll move faster. I think this next move will literally be faster than this move was here. We're going to move up the same amount, but by the end of the year, Zano could be at $100 or around there, give or take 20 bucks, 80 bucks, 120 bucks, I don't know, by the end of this year. And if Zano gets the traction, if this is the coin he's talking about, and Andrew Tate starts publicly talking about it, all his cronies start publicly talking about it, all the people who aren't even cronies but just follow him start talking about it, this coin's going to teleport you guys from a $242 million market cap to a $10 billion market cap to a $20 billion market cap. By the end of this cycle, we could genuinely see this thing being worth 100x or more what it is now. I really believe that this coin has multi-100x potential between now and the end of this cycle, right? Multi-100x potential, 100x from here puts you at $1,600. I could see this thing being worth $3,200 by the end of the cycle, and we're ready to break out now, okay? And again, I got a little lost in my Andrew Tate explanation here. I personally, and now I follow him. I very much don't agree with everything he says. Sometimes some of the things he says are toxic, and I literally will have to like mute him for a little bit. But I find him entertaining, and I more than anything, I think that he is. I think that he's educational. Really, whether you like him or not, maybe you don't like him, and maybe you don't like people who follow him. You should still listen to him because now you're going to be prepared and aware of what the rhetoric is that people of that follow him are saying and what they're thinking, and you can look up things to combat that, or just be aware of what the mentality is. Right? It's like Nick Fuentes. I don't like Nick Fuentes, man. I think Andrew Tate is an angel compared to Nick Fuentes, but I still listen to Nick Fuentes here and there. I can't listen to all his stuff because his stuff's actually worse, I think. Uh, but because I want to be aware of what people who I disagree with, I want to be aware of what they're saying, even when I don't agree with it at all. I want to be aware of what they're saying because it's good. You need to be open to the other side. You don't have to agree with it, but if you're not listening to them, that's kind of the whole point of what Charlie Kirk was saying, man. The second that we stop listening to each other, things get violent, and we have to be aware. Even if you don't like what they're saying, even if you think it's hateful, and I do, I think a lot of the things Nick Fuentes says is hateful. I think a lot of the things Andrew Tate says is just comical, more or less, but informative and educative still. But I'm getting way off topic here. I'm not trying to gain or lose subscribers with this conversation. All I'm trying to say is we're going to move up higher. Okay, we're going to move up higher, and I would expect if we see a measure move from this come to fruition, we should see something on the lines of like a $63 price or more. We take a high to a low here. We look at our Fibonacci extensions. $40 is the golden ratio. That's the minimum target. Dude, we're going to hit that by the end of the month of November. $94 is our 2272, 148 is our 2618. I really believe that we'll be somewhere around $100 to $150 by the end of this year, if not January. Okay, and then we'll continue to rally. Shout out to Andrew Tate, Top G. Nick Fuentes can get bent. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.